What's going on, everybody? This is Rich with another video on gaming on a budget. Channel that tries to save you money by recommending free or cheap games with the hopes of getting you guys some dope shit. So today I'll be doing another Xbox Games with Gold review. Sorry for everybody else. This game is free only for Xbox Live users, but it's cheap everywhere else, so there's that. The game I'll be reviewing is Bleed 2. This was one of the 3 games that's available this month in December. It looked like the most interesting one from the cover alone, and it got my attention first. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about some of the facts. So the genre of the game, it's an action platformer co-op built on the LK engine, developed and published by Boot Disc Revolution and Nephilim Studios. Released back in 2017. Platforms you can play it on include Windows, Linux, Mac OS, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Unfortunately, it's not cross-platform compatible, which makes sense because I think this is meant to be more of a couch co-op. So let's go ahead and talk about the story. So the game is a sequel to the original Bleed, which came out in 2013. It follows the story of the main character, Rin, whose goal is to become the ultimate video game hero. She is tested when villains come to invade the world she defends. Now it's up to Rin to stop the invaders and prove she is the best hero of all time. So this game plays like most platformers out there, 2D scrolling and shooting up enemies with a dope gun. You also have this sword that you can use to hit enemies and deflect missiles and shit. Navigating through each stage, wiping out enemies, and having a boss fight on each of the 7 stages. There's multiple game modes, which include story mode, which as it sounds is just completing the story. Arcade mode, which is playing the whole game but on one life, very challenging. Bringing up our next mode, challenge mode, which allows you to fight up to 3 bosses at a time. And endless mode, where you're basically just playing a bunch of randomly generated levels. So after getting a good grip on what Bleed 2 is and playing it for a little bit, I'd like to talk to you about some points that I came up with. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. So the first point, visuals. So visually, this is not a super advanced game, which is to be expected, to be honest. The graphics aren't crazy as it's done in like the 8-bit style, but it's very nostalgic and I like the look of the game. Colors really seem to pop in this game for me, and I found that super dope. I also like how they use colors in the game. So for instance, Rin's hair color is pink. All the projectiles that you can deflect with the sword are pink. Anything else will actually hit you, so you'll have to dodge it. I definitely got a Mega Man vibe while playing this game, and that's not a surprise because this obviously was an inspiration for the game. Overall, I like the old school arcade look, and it was a nice trip down memory lane. So my second point, the music. So the music in this game is just perfect. Not sure if anyone else feels this way, but sometimes the music in the game can really make the game. And I feel that this is exactly the case for Bleed 2. Gives me mad nostalgia and definitely reminds me of Mega Man's music and some of the other old school Nintendo games. Just like any other game, the music matches what's going on and it's just super nice. The makers did a great job for getting together an original soundtrack for the game, and yeah, kudos to Boot Disc Revolution. So my next point, this game's funny. This game is just surprisingly funny, very funny. I like that this game has a comedic aspect to it. It's a very lighthearted game and it does not take itself seriously. Whenever you die, the main character says something, usually words of encouragement like, we'll get them next time or we'll try harder. But every once in a while, you'll get something that's just kind of like unexpected. So like one time I died and Rin said that she was searching the source code to find cheats to play the game. And that made me smile. That was really, I didn't expect that at all. And I think it's dope of the developers to do things like this, and it's just something I appreciate a whole bunch. So let's talk about the highlights. So what I really like about this game is how fun it is and how simple it is. Being a 2D scroller, you might imagine being bored now with all the different games we have, but this game was surprisingly super fun. And with all the game modes that are available, there's multiple ways to stay entertained. I also like how casual this game is. It's easily one of those games you can just literally chill and play for a bit. The old school arcade style is a nice feeling to immerse yourself in every now and then. I also like the fact that this game is a couch co-op. We don't get too many of those, and being able to play with someone without having to worry about, getting online is a dope feeling. I think overall the quirkiness of this game is what left a huge impression on me. Like I said, Bleed 2 does not take themselves seriously in a good way, and I love that. It just really adds to the game, and it's just a fun game. It's a super fun game. Final thoughts, Bleed 2 is dope. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of skeptical on this, but Bleed 2 is actually a pretty fun game. I like the concept, gotta love the arcade style, and it's legit fun. It's just a super fun game. I think anyone that's a huge fan of platformers or 2D scrollers should check it out. And even if you were a fan in the past, I think you would have a bunch of fun playing this game as well. It's a good way to bring like the old school to the new generation, if that makes sense. Overall, it's a fun and cool game, and you gotta check it out. So if you are interested in getting Bleed 2, you absolutely have to do it by January 15th. You have a whole bunch of time, but just get it sooner than later so you don't miss out on this game. It is free again if you have Xbox Live Gold. Links for the trailer as well as where you can get this game will be in the description. But as always, I gotta ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think you're gonna play some Bleed 2? Have you played Bleed 1? I'm very interested in the first game now that I've played the second. Are you a fan of 2D scrollers? Do you miss arcade games? Let me know. I want to hear all about this in the comments. If you like this video, please go ahead and drop a like. And if you're new here, please go ahead and drop that sub. Videos on a weekly basis, game reviews, streamer interviews, going live on YouTube now. I'm doing everything I can to get this channel up and running. So please check this channel out. And if you have a good time, go ahead and just like and subscribe. Also, if you know any games I should play, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. And even if you know any streamers I should know about, drop those in the comments as well. I would love to check more people out to feature them on my streamers you should follow. But anyways, this is Rich with another review on Gaming on a Budget. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.